Welcome, everybody, to the Lowdown on Ridertown with 98.1 KHAK, 94.1 KRNA, and the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders. Chad Cooper here with you, back here at the Union Station. Want to thank James Larson for filling in a couple weeks ago. Just got the audio of that show posted up at our YouTube page. I think the Riders shared it the other day, so you can check that out. Thank James Larson for filling in and asking the questions. Sounds like it was a fun time for everybody up on stage. Tonight we're joined by head coach Mark Carlson, also players Mitch Miller and Joe Hankinson. And guys, first of all, I want to give a round of applause or thank you guys. I know usually when you guys have a game on Wednesdays, we try not to do the show on Tuesdays. Don't get in the way of the pregame prep and all of that, but I want to thank you guys for making the time, coming up, giving half an hour to us tonight.
Yeah, no problem.
Great to be here. This is good game prep, Coop.
Good game prep, yeah. We'll talk a little hockey, yeah. And then just kind of chill too. Yeah. This is all part of the preparation. So I also want to get a few thank yous out of the way too that I like to do weekly. Once again, Union Station and the staff for taking care of everybody out here tonight. Great food and drink specials during the broadcasts every week. Metro Studios for getting us set up with the audio here. Rick Boots taking the great photos during the show. Rough Riders Booster Club and the Housing Families for giving me some of that lowdown, some of the information on the players. And then I want to remind everybody that once again we have that autographed jersey drawing. We have that at the last show of the year. That's in April. But you can sign up, drop your name in each and every week. Doesn't matter. You can do it every week. So up your chances of winning with that one. Now, the reason why we're kind of having a special show tonight in terms of doing it when the Riders have a game tomorrow is that the weather. Everyone knows this year the weather has gotten in the way of a few shows, so we're trying to make one up and hopefully get one in here so we can do it. The weather, it's cold, it's windy outside, but compared to what we've had thus far this winter, this is pretty decent. So that's a good segue to ask you guys. Just before I left to come here to do the show, I checked the Riders Facebook page, and there's a video on there of you guys going to work clearing the stairs up to the arena, getting all the snow out of there. And I know if it's anything like my house, that had to be encrusted. That had to be hard. That had to be in there. Were you guys involved in that? I think it looked like the whole team was out there doing it.
Yeah, the whole team was out there. There's a good at least 3 inches of ice on every step, basically. So we got kids with hammers. We got kids with – one kid actually brought a big old pickaxe.
I was going to say, like at first, that's the reason I recognized is I saw a couple shovels. Then all of a sudden, it looked like straight up miner material. Someone had a pickaxe. They were going to work out there.
So we were going all in on that.
And then, Coach, I even looked up top and saw you out there, too. I mean, it's a whole team effort, right?
Oh yeah, we were all getting after it, Coop.
And now, Coach, the question I have to ask is, did you get the pickaxe at all, or were you just doing the shovel work?
I stayed away from the pickaxe. I was real happy with my ice chipper. With my ice chipper, so that worked well, and the guys did a great job.
Now that had to be, along with the show, of course, that had to be some pretty good pregame prep too. Nice workout within a workout.
Oh yeah, it was important. The first 5 minutes were real important. Get a good start.
Right.
And
there's a method to it.
Oh yeah, we got after it right away, so it was good.
Now the only other question that came to mind when I was watching it, the video itself is about a minute long. How long did it take to clear all the stairs up to the arena? That's a pretty tall stairway.
It took about 10 to 15 minutes out there.
Right.
Noses and hands got cold, so we went inside, got ready for practice.
Yeah, the other impressive thing, you guys were all rocking the jerseys, too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we were not talking about parkas and stuff. You guys are pretty much out there in, like, regular street clothes.
Yeah, it was pretty cold.
It's pretty cold.
Yeah.
It looked cold. The sun was out, but it looked pretty cold. All right, now, the Riders have had a pretty productive last month. That includes a 7-game winning streak, also put together a lot of wins in there as well. And Coach, I'll start there when we talk a little hockey. What's the biggest difference you've seen during that, not only the winning streak, but just the past month or so? Seems like the team's really firing on all cylinders, kind of gelled overall.
Well, I think the guys been working hard, and I know it sounds cliche, but just working at it every day and practicing video and in the weight room, and guys learning what it takes to win. And I think with everybody improving, the team is getting better, and I think the guys really care about each other, and that means a ton. So they're battling and finding a way to win.
Now, guys, when we start off in the first few minutes, I always like to ask the players who come up here about their backgrounds, where they're from, and how they got here to Cedar Rapids. So I'll actually start with you, Mitch. Where are you from, and what was your journey look like to get here with the Rough Riders?
I'm from Savannah, Ohio. Coach Kinney and Coach Carlson, I met them in Michigan. I played my AAA career in Michigan, so they were always at a couple games and tournaments, and then Start of this year, I got drafted to the Rough Riders.
Now, Joe, how about you? Where are you from, and how'd you get here to Cedar Rapids?
So I'm living in Hopkins, Minnesota right now, and basically just went to one of their camps and worked out. Had a good connection with Carlson, and yeah.
I mean, there were some laughs from the crowd. Is there an inside story or anything else too?
Nothing that I can think of, no.
Coach, is there anything coming to mind, Coach?
No, nothing.
Okay.
Nothing comes to mind.
I was trying to read between the lines, but there's nothing else going on there. How about how'd you get into the game of hockey to begin with, Joe? I'll start with you.
I mean, I was fortunate enough that my parents kind of let me play various sports when I was younger and stuff like that, so I was always trying to, I mean, that was a social thing too, just playing sports with friends. So then hockey kind of, as I got older, became more of the serious sport, and same with my friends, so we kind of formed a little clan, I'd like to say, and then we just kept playing, kept advancing, and it's led to here so far.
Mitch, how about you? How'd you get into hockey?
When I was 2 or 3, my dad was a hockey coach for my older brother's hockey team, so he would always take me out there for the skates and practices, and that's how I got at it.
And now, Mitch, when we talk about life beyond the Rough Riders, I know you've committed to play for the University of North Dakota, correct?
Yes.
What went into that decision? What was the recruiting process like with that?
There was a lot to it, but it was always my dream school, so before that I was committed to Miami, but I didn't have an offer at the time, so, and like this other stuff went into the changing my opinion, and then just like the coaches and like the facility, like changed my mind a lot.
Now, Joe, you've committed to Western Michigan, correct?
Correct.
What went into that decision on your end?
I went to the campus there. I had a really good time with Coach Andy Murray. I really clicked with him. I think their style of play kind of fits mine, and I think it's a place where I can improve most as a person and a player.
Now, Joe, I'll keep this here with you, and this is a question I probably wouldn't even have asked in years past, but this came out last year, kind of surfaced. Now, you're from Edina, Minnesota, right? Is that true?
I live there, yeah.
You seem a little apprehensive. Do you know what's coming?
I mean, so... Yeah, I know it's coming.
All right, so I appreciate letting me ask the question.
No, yeah, no problem.
All right, so I have 2 questions actually. All right, so the first is last year, I didn't have any knowledge of this, but a few of the guys were up here during the show last year, and they kind of referenced Edina in kind of a disparaging way. They were like, we kind of hate on them, and I wondered what's the whole background to that. They mentioned some stuff, but I'm wondering from your perspective, from someone who's from there, what's the whole situation?
I mean, now that I'm living in Hopkins, I like to say that I'm a strong Hopkins Royal now. So, but I mean, I did go to high school for a couple of years and lower school at Edina. So, I mean, basically, there's just a strong, I'd say, winning tradition at Edina and stuff like that, and they're hard to beat. They always have a lot of depth, and I don't know, people always hate good teams.
That's true. Like the Patriots, we were talking about that a few weeks ago too, that kind of stuff. But also, another thing is that last year when this kind of came up, I did some social media digging, went on YouTube, just looked up Edina. That's all I put in. Click search. First thing that comes up is, this has like 260,000 views. It's this music video. It's called the Cake Eater Anthem. Yeah. What's the whole story behind that? It's like a rap song. It's got the whole thing involved.
What's funny too is like literally everyone from all different parts of from the U.S. know about the Cake Eaters, which is just hilarious to me. So I don't know. It's just that kind of. I think that's been around for a while now, and it's just always stuck that they call Edina people cake eaters.
Now, Mitch, you're from Ohio.
Yes.
Were you aware of the Edina situation? Are you in on the mix on that?
I was not in the mix, but Joe just updated me, so.
Coach, throughout all your years of coaching here recently, has this come to your attention? This Edina kind of like hatred or love on some aspects, but hatred on others?
Very aware of the cake eater situation.
Cake eater situation. So, Joe, have you taken any heat in the locker room currently about that, or does your move to another part of the state kind of obscure that?
I like to justify it as saying that I moved out of that kind of situation.
Right.
I'm kind of a new person now.
It's like witness protection program. You got away from that.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, well, Mitch, as long as we're talking about hometowns, now your hometown is kind of around Toledo, correct?
Yes.
What's the go-to spot either in your hometown or around the Toledo area? I like to ask guys, especially kind of when they're from obscure areas or not the big metro hubs, what's the go-to spot if anyone's around the Toledo area?
I would say maybe like the ECHL Toledo Walleye games. They always get a good crowd and it's fun to go to. Fun to go to a lot of those games. That's
good. Coach, you're getting a good laugh out of this one.
Isn't this usually a restaurant question?
Yeah, usually, but I like I like how I mixed it up, because otherwise it gets stale and then you got to work. Yeah. Is there a restaurant too? I mean, you might sort of throw that in there if we're talking about it.
I'm a big Chipotle guy, but like I know that's original, but can't say there is like a certain spot to go to.
Right now, last year I think it might have been Nathan Smith, I can't remember, but we had a player on and I was like, what's the go-to spot, the restaurant, that's local? And he said Cheddar's, which didn't quite go over as well because, that's a national chain. Anyone could go to Cheddar's. So Chipotle is kind of right in there, but you threw out a local spot too. You got to get that in there. Now, Mitch, I'll keep this here with you, talking a little bit about hockey. Last year I read you had the opportunity to play for Team USA.
Yes.
At the Gretzky Cup up in Edmonton. What was that experience like? Seems like a really cool thing to do.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a lot of fun just to be able to put the jersey on and represent USA. It was a great experience and just meet some new guys, and it's a lot of fun.
Now, Joe, on your end, a young career for both of you guys still in the game of hockey, but what's your best memory so far that you've had in the game, if you can rack your mind?
Honestly, I just say every moment of it. Kind of just hanging out with the guys, and I feel like a lot of people don't really realize it now, but these are going to be people that, even if you run into when you're older, you're always going to have a good connection with them.
Right. And Coach, I had a question for you. You guys had a game on the road last week against Central Illinois. We talked about the guys out on the ice chopping away the snow on the stairs and everything. And that franchise in Central Illinois, where we talk about fan support, unfortunately they really haven't had it. And they announced last week they're going to have to withdraw from league play for a year. So when we see that in the league, this is the USHL, it's the best junior hockey league in the country. But when we see teams that don't quite have the support that the Riders have, and we look at you in your position, you've been entrenched here along with the franchise 20 years, kind of the opposite of what we've seen in Central Illinois or maybe some of the other franchises that quite haven't been able to make it work or have the support there for hockey. But as a role as not only a coach but someone who's handling front office responsibilities, what's it like to juggle all of that and make sure that this team not only works on the ice but also has that fan support and keeps things working all around?
Well, I think I'm really fortunate to be involved in it, Coop, and I've always said that. And ever since the first time I came into this city, the summer that I came out to interview was in late July, and I just thought it was a great town with great people, and feel fortunate to have been here for as long as I have been. And when you look at the support we have in the city, the arena, the people, the whole deal, we're very, very lucky. And we've seen a lot of teams, and a lot of teams have come and gone, throughout the league, throughout our 20-year history, and makes you appreciate what we have even more.
Now, guys, as players, when you talk to high school kids who might play sports, obviously they're playing at their respective high schools. They might be coming out in front of maybe a couple hundred, if that. You guys come out on the ice most nights, especially at the stable. You might have 2,000 or 3,000 people. What's it like when you skate out on the ice with that? It's kind of a pro experience, collegiate experience. Joe, I'll start with you. What's the atmosphere like when you skate out on the ice in the USHL?
Oh, it's surreal. They're the ones who make it fun putting on that Rough Riders uniform every game, and we just always want to, make them proud.
Mitch, how about you? What's it like as a player?
Just going out there and seeing all these people that come to watch you play and winning, making them happy, they're cheering for you, and just great experience. See everyone there.
All right, now we're just a couple minutes away from the gauntlet, as I like to call it, the housing family questions.
Oh, no.
Now, I forgot to mention at the start of this, so I like to theme each one of these shows. This one I'm calling Thanks for the Pranks.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's been quite a few of those.
Took me 5 minutes to come up with that. I felt pretty proud about it. So, guys, this is one I have to admit, and I like this because it's easier when you have a lot of information versus a little. Otherwise, I have to do a lot of research. I'm scrambling, try to find stuff. This might be one of the longer emails I've gotten from the housing families. A lot of stuff here, a lot of dirt to dig into. Are you guys at all scared, fearful of anything that could come out today?
To be honest, this whole day we've kind of been talking about like, yo, like, what are we gonna say to this? Like, like, kind of hypothetical situation.
Right.
We're kind of thinking, like, what should our response be? Yeah.
Okay, Mitch, how about you? Is that the way you've kind of gone into it too?
Yeah, we don't like really know what to expect, what they're going to put in the sheet, so we were a little worried about it all day. So.
All right. Well, we'll see how this goes. But as kind of a warm-up, a soft warm-up, what do you guys like to do off the ice? We talked a little hockey, but what are the hobbies when you guys aren't in the rink? Mitch, I'll start with you.
When I'm back home or like here, like I like to golf a lot, so I either like fish with my friends back home or just like roller hockey, like off the ice stuff, just hang with the guys.
Joe, how about you?
I'd say hanging with friends, with my brothers, with family, kind of being outdoors, fishing, stuff like that.
Okay. Now, before we get into the gauntlet, just want to remind everybody, upcoming games for the Riders, that one tomorrow night, that's at the Stable, that midweek Wednesday night game. It's a Wednesday, that's Winsday, because they're going to be prizes all night for the fans. So get on out to the Stable tomorrow night and pack the house for that midweek game. And then the Riders actually head up to Madison for a game on Saturday. All right, now, first of all, before we get into the housing family questions, I'll just ask you guys who you live with and what that experience has been like. Mitch, I'll start with you.
We live with the Beckers, Cindy and Terry. It's been great so far. It's like they're like a family from home, like cook good meals every night for us to come home to, so that's always awesome too.
Now, you guys are roommates, correct? You guys have the same housing family.
Sir.
What's it been like? What's the transition living together? Did you guys get along right away? Were there some, the growing pains? How'd that work?
So I was here before Mitch, and then Mitch came in. And then, I mean, it's been awesome having a roommate. More stuff to do, more stuff to do, messing around. Like, I just repeated myself, but yeah, just someone to mess around with.
Right. Now, we talk a little bit. Each and every week it seems like the subject of nicknames gets brought up. So nicknames for players on the team. I listened into the show a couple weeks ago. James Larson was talking with the guys about nicknames. But this one's a little different because I heard you guys have a nickname for the housing family's son.
100%.
100%. For Tyler, right?
Oh, yeah.
But that's not his name. That's not what he's going by with you guys.
No, he doesn't go by Tyler.
So I'm not gonna give it away. What do you guys call him?
That's a foreign name to us.
What do you guys call him?
We call him T Diddy.
T Diddy. Yeah. Now, Coach, I know James Larson asked you 2 weeks ago what your favorite nickname on the team was. Is that up there? I mean, kind of like a surrogate team member. That's up there.
That's up there for sure.
That's a good one.
That's up there. I didn't know that. So now every game I can throw out the T Diddy.
You can throw out the T Diddy. Now, I heard that T Diddy has kind of worked its way throughout the team. No one calls him Tyler.
Oh, no.
Nobody. Now, how did that nickname come to be? I mean, was this a pretty quick thing, like first thought, best thought, or how did this come?
Sometimes I like to just mess around, and I'll make up like with my friends back home, I'll just make up like dumb nicknames for them, and that literally was the first thing that came to mind when I thought of Tyler. So
that's a good one.
I started calling him T Diddy.
Mitch, how about that? Was you just backed it up on it?
I just backed him up. He got me hooked on it, so I was calling that.
It's catchy.
It is catchy. It's a good one. It's got I assume it was inspired by like the P. Diddy kind of vibe?
I don't know. It just came to me.
It just came to you? Yeah. That's kind of cool when it doesn't get inspired by anything. Out the blue. All right, now a lot of pranks in the house. That's like half of the list of emails were about the different pranks. So I'm going to try to run these down almost one by one. Now, I heard that the first, maybe like salvo, or the first blast in terms of a prank came from Tyler, hiding all of Joe, your power cords, batteries, the whole nine, just hit everything on you.
Oh, yeah.
Is that true?
That was strike one. I had to give a little retaliation after that one.
Okay, now what was the retaliation?
Was that the tape?
It might have been the tape.
I heard something about wrapping a lot of stuff up in tape.
So, he's got a little console kind of gaming system set up, like his little chair and his little keyboard and everything outside my room and outside Mitch's room. So we grabbed like about 3 rolls of tape. We wrapped it up pretty good, and good night, Jim Kite.
It even makes it better that they just have to go to my room and tape that up too.
Oh, yeah, so it went into the room as well. I heard it took like more than half an hour to get this all the tape off there.
Yeah, we used 3 rolls of duct tape.
Yeah, that's a lot. Wow, duct tape too. That's some powerful stuff.
Yeah.
But now, Coach, I'll ask one, were you aware of these antics? And 2, what's the best prank you've been aware of that's gone on in the housing families, amongst the players, anything that you've been privy to? I assume maybe some of these players don't want you to know about some of these pranks.
Yeah, I didn't know about that one. Those were a couple of good ones. And the best one that I know of, I probably can't say on air.
Okay. All right, that's fine. Well, this is a good segue, too. I'll ask you guys. So the best prank that I might have heard of here was about midway through this email. Now, I had to do a double take. I heard there was a life-size poster of Coach Carlson that's hanging up in a closet. Yeah. Is that true?
Yep.
Okay. And then I heard that what happened is, Joe, your dad was over at the house.
Yeah.
Right? And your dad was kind of checking out the room, checking out the living arrangement, and then what happened? I'll let you kind of finish it off.
I mean, yeah, I don't think they even knew that he was going to stop by just to check out the new crib. Yeah. This was earlier on in the season, too, but then, yeah, he had it hanging up in my closet, and he opened up the closet, actually, and he saw that, and he was kind of shocked.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I heard now the verbiage used was scared, like frightened. Like you pulled the closet and boom, there it was.
Yeah, I mean, it's not every day you see a big life-size poster.
So that leads me to my next question. Do we know the origin of the life-size Coach Carlson poster? How did this thing even come to be?
T. Diddy.
A few years ago, they had the life-size pictures of all the players, and Coach's was one of the last ones.
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, why not grab that? Because why not? So,
right. So there you go. So it was team-created. Coach, did you know that there was a life-size poster of you floating around?
Well, the only reason that I knew about it was, geez.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, here it comes.
Yeah.
We've even had, now I know this is a radio show, so people don't know what's going on, but we just had it unveiled to us in the middle of the crowd right now. There it is.
Very nice.
It's a good poster, Coach.
It's not bad. Not bad. Not bad.
I was wondering now, see, that answered my question, because I was wondering whether it was like an in-game, so you had the suit going on, or whether it was a practice kind of action and more practice-oriented.
Yeah, it's practice. And so the only reason I knew about these is because when we decided to do these as an organization, as the players won't be surprised by this, like I wasn't in favor of this type of, because like the team first, and I would rather have a picture of the whole team up there than individual posters. And then, so when we were doing the players, I was told that I had to do it, so I had to follow instructions, and away we go. So
now, how many years ago would this have been? How many years old is that poster?
That's probably. I mean, it looks like it was taken today.
Coach, you've aged well, if at all. It looks good.
Well, it's like 9 or 10 years old, I think.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So that's kind of like kind of a collector's item, maybe. It's floating around. Now, guys, I'll ask you this as well. I heard the second part of this poster situation is that it still pops up occasionally, like here tonight, but also I heard at home, and then this is in quotations, this is from the email, with words of wisdom and motivation for you guys in terms of, how to live life, how to play. How does that work out? Joe, I'll ask you.
I mean, I don't think too much it's happened this year, but I think players in the past, they've told us stories about how they just set it up in their room after kind of they may had they thought they had a bad game or something like that, and kind of just to cheer them up or to give them little words of wisdom or something like that.
Mitch, how about you? Is that a similar circumstance that you've heard?
I mean, that's the first time I saw it was Hank's dad came over and opened the closet door, so that was the first time I saw it.
Right. So that was the first time it made an appearance to you as well. All right, now, I'm assuming, but I don't want to assume that the prank that was outlined or the pranks that were outlined in the email were the best, but is that true, or is there one that we're not leaving out, like a standout or a highlight prank? Mitch, Joe, ask both of you guys.
Nothing really. There's just a lot of little stuff that goes on too.
Right.
I mean, like I said too, it's just I feel like we feel comfortable with the Beckers, and we've had such a good time with them, and it's kind of like T. Diddy. We treat him like a little brother. Yeah. So I mean, no harm there. No.
Well, then that's a good segue, because I heard the word in this email is that Tyler, T. Diddy, he's kind of laying in wait and planning the next prank as we speak. Do you have something in mind?
We got a couple ideas.
I've heard a lot of bad. I heard one thing that he was going to do was he was going to put mouse traps in our bed. So when we.
Oh wow!
That was Cindy's idea about it.
That's I think what they call getting pretty savage with it. Like that's a whole other level.
Yeah, or he was going to put colored dye in the shower so our hair gets all dyed or something like that.
Okay. So my question then is, if that prank hypothetically were to happen, would you guys just roll with the colored hair, or would there be some drastic move like shaving it off, or what happens if that actually occurs? Mitch?
I might have to roll with it for a little bit, see how it looks.
All right. How about Joe? How about you?
I mean, I'd say first thing on my mind is getting T-Diddy back.
Right. So keep the hair for a while. Yeah. Just get that prank, get that return prank. So obviously that lends the question, do you guys have pranks in the reservoir, like that you're holding back, like, hey, just in case we get pranked, we got one ready. We're ready to roll?
I mean, yeah, like I said, nothing really. I think just sudden little things we'll think of on the fly, and then we'll just carry them out.
All right. Now, I've heard from other players throughout the year, the common theme has been that we have quite a few Bachelor fans on the team, like guys who are fans of the show.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a running thing. Are you guys fans of The Bachelor?
Not at all.
Not at all?
No.
I'm not a big fan, but I watched the episode last night with Cindy. So.
Yeah, what'd you think of it?
Oh, it was kind of sad. It was a sad part.
I heard that I don't watch it on a regular basis, but I just saw that he jumped a fence.
He did
like
jump
literally,
a fence.
yeah.
It was pretty sad.
Yeah. So does that mean, Mitch, that you're hooked now?
I'll probably watch next week with her.
Okay. So you're kind of a convert to it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Now, how about, this is a question I haven't asked before. You guys are all fairly active from what I see when I search online on social media, Twitter, Facebook, any of those. Who has the best social media account on the team? Who's a must follow?
I don't know. I mean,
maybe Max Sasson back there.
Yeah.
We got a lot of guys too that think they got a pretty good account, but I mean, there's a lot of guys too that are pretty into it. But
yeah. Is there like a specific post that you're like, yeah, this guy's pretty funny, or this guy's like worth a follow? Anything come to mind?
Silly's got some good posts. Max got some good posts. Ishan's struggling a little bit. But yeah, I mean, Walshy's got some solid ones too. Franny, all the boys.
All right.
Ishan's got good posts too. I don't want to throw him under the bus.
All right, yeah, we don't want to throw him. Mitch, are those the same guys that come to mind for you? Sounds like a lot of good follows on the Riders team.
Yeah, there's some good followers.
Yeah.
Just a solid group of boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coach, you don't keep up with any of the guys on social media, do you?
No, I was thinking about getting InstaFace though.
Yeah. That's a good clash. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's a good mix. Yeah. Well, if we're talking about social media, we got to talk about Fortnite. Right, guys? I heard there are some real competitive Fortnite battles in the house. Yelling, screaming, maybe some expletives, but I don't want to say that for sure.
I would say Fortnite's kind of gone downhill for us. I've been more in NHL lately, NHL 19.
Okay.
I mean, I still rage a little bit. It's not as bad as it used to be with Fortnite, but try to keep it down.
Okay. Joe, Fortnite done?
I honestly haven't been playing Xbox too much, so I got hooked a little bit just recently on Trailer Park Boys.
Okay.
So that's a funny one.
I was going to ask you guys, if we're talking about media and all that, best Netflix show, anything streaming you'd recommend? I've been asking the guys recently. Mitch?
I would say Ozark, actually.
Okay. Joe, how about you?
Last year I watched Game of Thrones twice through. So.
Yeah. Are you excited for the...
Oh, big time.
Yeah, next season? Yeah. How about the best video game player on the team? Who would you guys call out?
I'd probably say myself's up there, but
a lot of, not booze necessarily, but
I don't know. There's a couple guys. Nathan Smith's pretty good at NHL.
Okay.
But
I'd say Smith's pretty solid at most games.
Yeah. Well, she's a little rusty with Fortnite, so I can't say he's the best, but he's definitely working.
He's working on it. All right. Now, Coach, you'll like this probably. The guys, wherever you can get extra motivation, I'm sure you're fortunate to have it. Joe and Mitch, I heard that you guys, one of the incentives, you guys get to choose the meal at home if either of you score a goal. Is that true?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yeah. How many meals have we had this year that we get to choose?
I mean, I'd like to have more than we've had, but we've been mucking away, so we're happy with what we've gotten.
And you guys have been getting wins, so that's what matters.
Yeah, I mean,
team first, right?
No, not at all.
Team first.
We haven't been focusing on that. We've been focusing on winning, right, Coach?
That's it. That's how we roll.
That's it. Now, right. A good big round of applause for that. Team first. Team first. So, guys, I do have to ask, though, when you do score a goal, when you're fortunate enough to get in there, have a direct impact with a goal, what's the meal? What's the go-to? What are you guys picking, Mitch?
My go-to is definitely shrimp in every meal that we have. If I score, shrimp will definitely be the go-to.
Okay. Joe, sorry, how about you?
I'm good with, like anything like shrimp, anything tasty.
Okay. I heard there was one specific shrimp meal. Is it coming to mind for you guys?
I mean, we've had like the same shrimp. Terry always put some good seasoning on it.
Yeah.
It's pretty spicy, but
okay.
We're both big into the spice.
Big into the spice, all right.
Was there a certain meal?
I don't know. I mean, I don't.
Just shrimp overall.
You guys want to help us out, or? Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of good meals, so it's hard to remember.
Right. How about the favorite? Is that would that rank up there with the favorite housing family meal overall? Is that up there?
I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah. What's the best thing that gets made on a regular basis? Like when you guys come home at night, what are you looking forward to?
I mean, she changes it up all the time. She creates a menu for each week, and then she'll try not to replicate the same thing ever, really. So we'll really get something different every week.
That's pretty good,
yeah,
Coach.
awesome.
That seems like a pretty good schedule.
It's top shelf.
Yeah, it's top shelf. Different stuff every week. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Now, guys, I saw some of the guys in a Facebook post. They were out reading at a school today, and I was going to ask you guys, what's your favorite community activity when you get to go out beyond the ice and actually get out in Cedar Rapids and kind of have an impact in the community? Joe, I'll start with you.
I mean, they're all fun. You're all interacting with the kids. You're all just, I feel like being a good guy, kind of helping out the community, kind of just positive energy going throughout.
Mitch, how about you? Anything that sticks out?
I'd probably say when I didn't do the reading today, actually. I was at physical therapy, but last time I read to the class, I thought it was pretty fun. Like the questions they asked after are pretty cool, and just like given the experience that we have here.
Now, before we wrap up here, I just want to ask you guys, had a pretty good, that was a pretty thorough email I got today. Anything that I didn't cover that you guys are just like kind of burning, feel like it has to get out there? It doesn't seem like it was too embarrassing. We didn't cover anything too bad. Anything out there that we just got to get on air?
Nothing really I can think of.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Coach, sometimes I'm remiss. I don't give you the last word. Anything about these guys that you feel like we should mention?
Definitely a couple characters.
No
doubt about that. Yeah. Right. Nothing that pops out right now, though.
Now, I have to ask you guys, you're both going to different colleges when you move on from the Rough Riders, but you've been roommates, you lived together for quite a while now. You guys going to stay in touch, kind of a friendship bond formed since you guys have been teammates and also roommates?
I mean, we'll be playing each other too in the NCHC, so.
Yeah. So how's that gonna shake out?
Have to toss the gloves a couple times. Yeah, we'll for sure keep in contact.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I want to thank both of you guys, both Joe and Mitch, for joining us, and Coach. I know you guys got a game tomorrow. Best of luck with that. All the best with that, and thanks for coming down for the Lowdown.
Thanks, Coop. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
I want to remind everybody, thank you all. I want to remind everybody the Riders have a game tomorrow night. Once again, that's at home inside the stable. It's against Madison. It's a Wednesday, not only Wednesday in terms of the day of the week, but also WINS Wednesday. Fan prizes throughout the game tomorrow night, so get on out, support the team at the stable. And then this weekend, they'll actually head up to play at Madison on Saturday. The audio of this will be up this weekend. We'll get it posted. The one from 2 weeks ago, that was the last show James Larson hosted. That's up right now, as I mentioned at the start. The audio, the Riders shared it just the other day, so you can go to their Facebook page and access that. We will be back next week. That's March 12th for another Lowdown on Ridertown. As always, thanks for braving the cold conditions, the weather, coming out and join us, and we'll see you next week for another Lowdown on Ridertown. Thanks, everybody.